Then the month of August was so crucial for the Hazaras. The two fitwas, after a century, came shoulder to shoulder, or can you say the flip of another one. ما میخوایم که در انگلیسی هم برایش من صحبت کنم که گراس و some other guests are here تو اونا هم از مستفید شو برایش من بگم. So I just start from the one of the quotation which you never heard through probably for the last 129 years. He is the quotation of Ali Jan Hazara. Ali Jan Hazara was a young man who resisted during the resistance war of independence in 1892, probably between May and September 1982. And according to the British agents, our news writer in Kabul, when he was just sitting behind Amir Abdurrahman Khan, he writes that Ali Jan was brought here and he stood firm in the front of Amir Abdurrahman Khan. His cruelty is well known to every. Thank you. To us. So Amir asked Ali Jan, said, Ali Jan, you did not fear of your life when you resisted my soldiers. It's very, very hard to speak in the front of Amir Abdurrahman Khan. Ali Jan said, this golden word, I think this is a lots of philosophy, politics, and love with the country and motherland is hidden in that quotation. Ali Jan just said few words and said, we must die one day. Nobody gives up his country and property easily. That's it. Abdurrahman shocked and immediately said nothing, just said and ordered, throw him in the black well. That's it. So I start with the next. Because I have only 15 minutes, that's really interesting for me. I mean, just to conclude my 37 years of old research in 15 minutes, that's a good challenge for me. And it's really good to show you some documents from the British agents. They produced exactly from that era. And these are all the primary source from the National Archives of Britain. Okay, the long genocide, which I'm always saying is coming for the last about 1 decade, because the long genocide, we have proof of that the proceedings, if we see, it started right from the 1882. When Abdurrahman Khan came on throne in 1880, he started and crushed the Sheikh Ali Hazaras first. And when they crushed the Sheikh Ali Hazaras, actually thousands of these children and the boys and the men, particularly the women and children, were openly auctioned in the market of the Kabul and Kandahar especially. And that is an act of genocide, particularly for, enslaving and enslaving and selling the, he actually issued the proclamation to sell the Hazara women and children by the price. Earlier, the speaker said about 2 rupees to 20 rupees, etc. After that, the systematic genocide or persecution has continued every month and everywhere up to the year of 1892. If we see, the official statement comes for the infidelity of Hazaras. That was actually in July 1892. That was on the right side. You see, that's the first proclamation or the decree, you can say. To some extent, you can say fitwa, but that was not the complete fitwa. Inshallah, in another session in Sydney, I will show the whole fitwa for you because I brought it with myself. So in that one, I think you can see, this says the Durrani of Kandahar and other people that these Hazaras are infidels and their killings, and you can wipe out them from our face of earth like that. But the other thing is, you can see there's another proclamation or the decree that said the large number of the Hazaras, prisoners, male and female, have arrived during the month at Kabul, where under orders from the Amir, they have been sold by public auction. These are the primary source, exactly from that date. So these decrees from the government has always been coming time to time, and that's why we say the Hazara persecution is a long genocide. Until today, you see the poster outside was hanging. That is the evidence that is the systematic genocide or persecution is still continued up to the day. If you compare it with the other genocides, probably we can say there was over the month or years, but our persecution is still continued right from the 1892 till today. So this is another proclamation, you can say, that's a decree or fitwa, was describing about the infidelity of Hazaras and their children and families, and their land has been confiscated and given to the non-Hazaras, I mean the Afghans or the Pashtuns. This is the whole story which says, and this was reported by the British agent from Kandahar. Exactly in 1892 was probably the month of August of the 6th. If we see that, now we go on for the next two slides, then we see how it was a coincidence. Then the month of August was so crucial for the Hazaras. The two fitwas, after a century, came shoulder to shoulder, or can you say the flip of another one. So now you go there. At the same time, the Amir has promised the regular army and the tribal forces. They gathered, and he ordered together 100,000 لشکریه ایلجاری و سپاهی‌های قومی با جمع شوه، اینا بر هزاره ها خصوصاً بر ارزگان محاصره شوه و اونا را همه را به تاراج بکشین و هر کسی که به این مثلا جنگ جهاد شامل شوه اونا را همه اجازه که زمینای اینا را ببره، زنایش را ببره باسارت و هر چی که مثلا دارایی داره مال اونا، اینا همه برای همینا 100,000 نفر اونا کتد باید جمع شوه. حالی میبینیم که بس بمی خاطر این نوتیفیکیشن یا این حکم امیر بسیار پرمانی است که مردم را گفته بین به تاراج بکشید تا زمینای اینا را در بین شما تقسیم کنیم. مگر یک چیزی که بسیار مهم است، the same notification has been forwarded by the Major General James Brown in Quetta, who has been monitoring all the Hazara campaign, and he forwarded the same dangerous notification to the Viceroy, and Viceroy straight away forwarded it to the Secretary of State in London. So it means the severity of this notification again indicates how the Hazara people were severely persecuted and what was the intention of Amir Abdurrahman Khan. And the British government of the time, he knew everything, but he could not stop the thing. One thing which is very, very common question among general people, how many people of Hazaras were killed or disappeared or massacred or genocide? 60%, 50%? That's not actually calculated like 2 to 4. So the one calculation which is very closely, and that is probably as 50% and plus, indicates in Siraj Tawarikh, volume 4. Faiz Muhammad Khatib, he mentions about the 400,000 families multiple times. I remember he mentioned in the volume 4 7 times, not 1, 2, 3. He mentioned 7 times on different chapters the Hazaras were massacred, enslaved, or deported, or sold in slavery, whatever, their number was 400,000, not soul, families. According to the Indian statistics of that time, it shows in the tribal area, which applies to the Afghanistan as well, the families was actually between 6 to 9. If you take the minimum one, number 6, it comes 2.4 million. 2.4 million, if you say, supposedly, that the whole Hazara population at that time was 5 or 6 million of the time, it definitely, it comes to 50% of that. Taimur Khanov is also indicated on that. So we can say, yes, 50% plus was the number, so we can argue on that. And we have strong evidence as well. But the Khatib's, Faiz Ahmad Khatib's writing is an official court writer of Amir Habibullah Khan. So that's why we can recognize it and we can say firmly, yes, it was 50% of the population of entire Hazaras were massacred, enslaved, and that was the thing which we can say the 21st September, we should mark the day of our genocide, but the world is still silent. And if we are silent, so definitely the world is silent. We should raise our voice and say to the world, in the mountains of the Hazaras are the Parapamizos, the oldest name of Hazaras, which has the Greek historian says, and the high mountain of Hazarajat in late 19th century. What happened? Where is the humanity? Why the humanity is silence? Where are these 2.4 million people gone? But don't worry. We have strong evidences in the archives of the Europe, in everywhere. So many of these evidences which we have, so you can see in the 2 volumes is there. At least I could do something accumulated in here and compile it. This is all the evidence of the Abdurrahman era. This is exactly the same previously I told about the promise of Amir Abdurrahman Khan. The one thing after that, Amir Abdurrahman Khan has distributed gold and silver medal and bronze medals to their victorious armies, generals, and the others who participated in the Hazara campaign. So therefore, if you find them from eBay, because in England we have eBay and some other auction platform, so these are these medals are very important for the community here to have that. Thank you very much, Batur. So these 2 books, the one is a bit thicker, about 400 or 500 pages. This is all the Abdurrahman era, and his crime was so big, so that's why the book is very thick. And luckily, I got it yesterday. This is the Amir Habibullah Khan. During his son, Hazaras was also persecuted very badly. Even less massacre, but systematic persecution was there. Particularly, the land grabbing is here. So these are all reported by the British agents from Kabul, Herat, Kandahar, even some parts of the Khurasan there as well. And some part of the Hazaras in diaspora, it also mentions when they fled the country, they lived in Khurasan and British Balochistan. There's lots of evidence in there. So inshallah, hopefully, برای اولادای آینده ما کوشش میکنیم که همه این اسنادا باشد که اولادای شما محروم نباشد که بگم ما اسناد نداریم برای اینا. ما تمام اسنادای دستی اوله اگر شما داشته باشین شما میتونین اولادای شما خودان شما میتونین بکنین. برای از اینکه کتاب در دست بیاری آقای جان و آقای نویان ورزگانی تحقیقاتی بلخ اینجا هست، شما میتونین از اونا بخرین و ما انشالله در غیر از 12 جلد دیگه هم تهیه کردیم در خدمت شما میرسانیم. فقط شما امیر میخوایم که اولادایتون را گفتی که خواهر من اینجا بود، گفت اولادتان بگین تاریخ بخونه، مواد زیاد دارین، اصلا دارین، هر چی هست، فقط همت بکنید. چون از پوزه زیاد گذاشتم آقای باتور نگه که زیاد وقت گرفتی ممنونم. البته previously I mentioned about the August, exactly in August 1892 if we see the 10th of August, Mullah Niazi, he was the governor of the Balkh University, I think so. Everybody remembers exactly he said about the Hazaras and about declared them as infidels. So the same year of August 1890 and the same month which Abdurrahman has, issued a proclamation of the infidelity of Hazaras, that was in August as well. So what a contrast. So we can say that decree was from Abdurrahman and that was from Mullah Niazi. Between the probably 1 century later, the same thing was applied on Hazara, and the same thing is Taliban is applying on the Hazara as well. So that's why we say, if we see the combination, compare and contrast of the several decrees and notification from the government up till today, that links and proves it, the Hazara is persecuted, and that is the long genocide in the contemporary history of the human being, which in the day we live. So this is something you can say we are the most persecuted community on the face of earth. So this is another one. Right, the bottom one is the Shirin 1892 incident, and the upper is the current contemporary genocide occurred in Kabul, and up to today, you see the banners outside, you can view that. So these are the books and the things which is coming now, except those two is printed. So these other books are coming, exactly these are all, would be help to the intellectuals and academics for their writings and works on the history of Hazara genocide and other history of Afghanistan as well. So thank you very much.